Let's talk about Star Wars, because there's a new show out and nobody is talking about it. Star Wars Skeleton Crew. The ratings for the show are not good. It's not even showing up on top original streams, which is a good category because without that, all the older shows would blow them all away. Because everybody would rather watch Seinfeld and Friends right now than anything that's coming out of modern Hollywood. And that's a big problem for them. It really is. But Star Wars is in a different position. They've really done a great job of just running everybody off. And now they really don't have many people left. And when they put out good shows, people don't tune in for them. We've seen it a couple of times. Andor was one of them. A lot of people praised that show, but nobody watched it. Now, that show did get lucky that they decided to have some faith in it and make a season 2. But I'm really wondering how many people are going to tune in for that one as well. They've ran everybody off. The Acolyte was kind of the last hurrah for Star Wars. And by that, I mean actually getting people to talk about it. And the only way that they could get anybody to talk about it was to slam everybody and call them istophobes. Because people were making videos about the show, making fun of it, because the show was objectively pretty damn bad. It's an awful show. It's a very bad show. This is one I watched a little bit of because, well, I mean, there was a lot of content that we made on this show because of how bad it was. But notice how Skeleton Crew, nobody's making videos ripping on it. I haven't seen that many, not compared to The Acolyte. So it's funny when they put out cringe trash like The Acolyte, you know, and people roast it. The tactic is to just come out and call everybody istophobes and attack them, call them, you know, bigots and Yahtzees. It's the same old. They've been it's their go-to playbook. And they've been doing it for a long time. They rally their influencers that praise all of their trash to try to get cancel movements going. Remember that when they were trying to get a bunch of channels deplatformed and demonetized because they made fun of this garbage show? Nobody watched it, which basically a Disney exec just confirmed in an interview. Nobody watched this show. It had pretty decent numbers for the first, 2 weeks, because everybody was curious about the shit show, and then it just dropped off a cliff. It dropped off a cliff. Amanda Steinberg making that weird twerk video. It was a shit show. And this is all thanks to Kathleen Kennedy and her little cronies at Lucasfilm, just basically running off old fans. And I truly believe they thought if they run off all these old fans, that they were going to bring in this new army of people who were going to be the audience they wanted, and it was going to rebound the franchise. And that didn't happen, did it? And that's, you know, tinfoil hat talk, but man, the more you think about it, the more it kind of makes sense, especially when they were doing weird shit like this video, which was all about discourse. Amanda Stein, I want to have discourse with you. And then when you had discourse by going over her stupid video, she would copyright strike you. So much for discourse. What an embarrassing video that was. What was really funny was the Cope people saying that this was effective, powerful, strong, praise this woman for being brave. This is cringy shit. This whole video was cringe. Dancing like, I'll be careful with what dancing like somebody with a very low IQ. We'll say that. It was very strange video. But over on Vulture, December 19th, relatively new, we got some people from the higher up echelons of Disney to sit down and talk about the business and Disney Plus and Star Wars. Some interesting stuff right here, confirming basically what we already knew. Staying on the franchise front, let's talk Star Wars. Feels like it's had a bumpier road of late compared to Marvel. The Acolyte had many strong reviews and did well in the ratings its first week out, but you ultimately opted against the second season. Why didn't you move forward? And can you offer any hint as to how Skeleton Crew is doing or its future? Didn't you kind of answer your own question here? Did well the first week and then it dropped off. Why would they make a second season, dummy? You answered your own question in the question. So as it relates to the Acolyte, we were happy with our performance, but it wasn't where we needed it to be given the cost of structure of that title. Quite frankly, to go and make a season 2. So that's the reason why we didn't do that. Skeleton Crew is in process now, so we'll see. We've seen some growth on that. We'll see how that goes. As you said, reviews have been excellent on Skeleton Crew. We'll have to wait and see how that all plays out as it moves forward. What about the broader franchise, both on streaming and in theatrical? In terms of what's coming up, we have Andor Season 2, which we're really excited about. It is excellent. I've watched all the episodes, and it is a fantastic season. And then we have Ahsoka Season 2, which Dave Filoni is leading. And then we're looking at the number of additional series that are in development. We'll see what we decide to do. As I said earlier, they have to be great. And when we're in a position where we think we have what we want, we're going to move forward. In terms of the films, at this point we have The Mandalorian, which is coming out Memorial Day of 26. We've got a number of films that we are developing. When we're ready, we'll be making announcements as to what those are. Oh, more film announcements. Amazing. Can't wait for those. They've announced more movies than they've actually made. They just announce shit all the time. And you know why they do that? It's to get people to talk about Star Wars. Because nobody talks about Star Wars unless it's negative. Because there's no fans anymore. All anybody wants to see is Star Wars get dunked on. That's it. Because you've made all of the fans hate it. You make a video talking about how poorly it's doing, everybody tunes in for that. Nobody tunes in for positive Star Wars news because nobody cares anymore. Everybody is just here for the trash fire. And that's on you. You made that happen, Disney. That's a feat that I never in my life thought would happen. But here we are. And that's all thanks to the way you've ran Lucasfilm since you got it. Man, imagine doing what, it's just insane to me. You had a guaranteed moneymaker and you pissed it all away so that you could have space lesbians. Congratulations. What were you thinking? But yeah, it's pretty much confirmed here. It just had low ratings. Nobody watched it. They said they were happy with the performance. Were you? Were you? Because you said in that same sentence that you basically didn't make any money on it. It didn't go where it needed to be given the cost structure of that title, which was huge. It's like $200 million or some shit. This is crazy. So, you know, this is the bed you've made, and now you lay in it. And that's all I can really say about it. I can only imagine how companies attached to it, like Hasbro, making those Star Wars figures, they made Acolyte figures. Boy, oh boy, would I love to know how many of those they sold. I'm pretty sure you'll see them in discount stores by next year at some point. I'm surprised they weren't in there for Christmas. Or maybe even the discount stores have wised up, because when you go into them, you still see Rey's and Rose Tico's and that Admiral Gender Studies or whatever her name was with the purple hair. What was that? Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all this. What are your thoughts? Also, if you would please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.